was thinking about the better days. My youth so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Nightcap. It's time to talk about Arsenal and Fulham. Let's get straight into it. And what I want to talk about, just really on my mind, is the game itself. A lot of talk all the way through. And by the way, wasn't Sunday a blessing? Last Sunday was so good, man. Man United, boy, me love you. Garfield, shout out to you, man. Big up you turn up on Sunday and help out the Gooners. Big up to you. But overall, guys, look, this is where we have to see that the team has changed, man. The team has changed. Like, we're at our worst right now. This is what I'm trying to say. Focus on where we are. This is September gone into October, and we're in a key time of the month where last year we were seeing a lot of red cards for stupidness, like time wasting and all that silliness and kicking the ball away. You know, we had 2 red cards because of that, and we were just dealing with a lot of foolishness. But then the stickler last season was that we drawed 14 games. And this season, like, man, the team just coming out and they're balling all over the place. They're balling right now. So, and that's the key for me. The key for me is right here. This is not the best Arsenal that you're going to see this season. This is not the best Arsenal that you will see this season. We have injuries. We have a striker that's out of form. We have probably one of our best wingers, Madueke, not even playing. There's no Jesus as well. Havertz, he's not playing. It's just your captain, Odegaard, who just sets the tone, defense from the top. Like, none of that is there. You're not seeing any of that. On top of that, guys, it's just the team still gelling to get together. You started off in a certain formation, and now the 4-2-3-1 looks like the way forward, playing with 2 number 10s. And you haven't actually had enough opportunity to play the way you want to play. So you've got all these different factors in, you know, injuries, out of form players, all these things happening. And you're 3 points clear at the Premier League. And so good days are yet to come as far as Arsenal goes. And this is the key to it. We're not at our best, but where's your identity? Your identity is you are the best defense, not in just the Premier League, but in Europe. 11 games, 3 goals in all competitions. That's insane. And you know what's more insane? Only one of their goals has been from outfield, which is Haaland. Yeah? Only one of their goals. The Newcastle goal and the Liverpool free kick were set pieces. So you've gone 11 games, guys. You've got 11 games and let in 1 goal from outfield play. Yeah? That's just an incredible place to be. So your defense is rock solid. That's what wins championships. On the forum, I put on the Chelsea record of 15 goals letting in 1 season. This Arsenal team is on course to beat that. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But what we do know is you're not even letting a shot in on target. This is back-to-back games now where a team hasn't even worked David Raya. David Raya is in goal with his hat on, his steel toe cap shoes, his food, knife and fork, everything on the table, just chilling. Man's not doing no work. That's how good this team is. And it's not just the defensive front, it's what happens. Now you're playing that double pivot with Zubimendi and Declan Rice. And Declan Rice was a bit advanced this weekend. He was a bit more advanced. But you've got that. What's going on? Big up to you. He's got that sort of play where you are so protected in front of you that you're not even doing any work. You've gone levels now. We've gone from the Xhaka to the Thomas Partey to the point now where you ain't even facing shots. It's crazy. It's the first time they have in the back-to-back games, they've not faced a shot since 2003, 2004 when we won the title. Yeah? Boy, all the links. And I do want to say about the game, the biggest thing for me as well is Newcastle, West Ham, and Fulham last season. What happened in those games? What happened in those games? What happened in those games was you couldn't defend a lead. Yeah, you dropped points in all three of those games. This season, you've won all those games. You've won all of those games. Shout out to Socials as well. Social says, no beating that record too hard if our attack starts gelling. We'll get about 20 goals. That's true, but remember, defense starts from the front. So all them players like you're looking at, like Gyökeres, Trossard had 4 duels won yesterday. Saka was just lights out. Saka just filling up the stat sheet yesterday. You know, the recoveries, the tackles, the duels. He won the most on the pitch. That's from your attackers. So when you see how good the team defensively is, it all starts from the top. So yeah, I'm feeling you, Socials. But look, we got 19 points this season from opening 8 Premier League games. And that's guys for the third time in the last 4 seasons. Imagine that. We've got 19 points from 8 games in 3 of the last 4 seasons. So that's a level of consistency. You see these teams, they come up, they challenge Aston Villa, Newcastle, they're getting in the Champions League, Chelsea, and then they drop out of the top 4. You know, you see some teams like Liverpool won the title last season. Look where they are now, 4th. So it's just the consistency of Arteta year in, year out, just having this team at a high level. And it just goes to show the levels. Like, that's your identity. That's how good you are. You are not going away. In regards to Man City, Liverpool, and all of our rivals, we're a problem. Arteta has created a problem for those teams because Arsenal are not going away. And they're all young players. They're 2 or 3 years away from their prime. And they've all signed long contracts. So you're not going anywhere. And the game, yes, it was 1-0, guys. But it was a lot closer than people let on to be because, and I don't want to talk about the penalty thing. The penalty thing pissed me off because we have another situation where, yes, he did get something on the ball, but he's had to go through the player to get there. So you've gone through Saka to make limited contact with the ball. And then on the other side, you know what they say, guys? This is going to make you guys laugh. You're going to love this. You know what the refs say now? That minimal contact is up to the ref what he wants to do with minimal contact. So what I mean by that is Gyökeres gets tripped in the box. He doesn't go down. He tries to stay on his feet. And then obviously Leno he comes out for the ball. But it was contact. And he didn't go down. And so the referees are saying it's minimal contact. It's contact. You either make contact with the player or you don't. There's no in between. What's all this grey area we're seeing now when it comes to Arsenal and penalties? Where did the grey area come from? The rule books are the rule books. And the rule book says if you go through a player to get to the ball, it's a penalty. All of a sudden, with Saka this week and Gyökeres against Newcastle, you're allowed all of a sudden to go through the player. Only with Arsenal, guys. Only with Arsenal. And them things don't bother me. Refs, they can say whatever they want. I don't care. Because it's not stopping us. Normally, we'd use that as an excuse, and normally, but we're winning these games. So I don't really care what they do. It's on us to get through this, even though we're playing 10 versus 11. Andrew saying Gyökeres has made contributions, significant impact. Saka is no longer double and triple. Yeah, that's the whole key right there. That's the whole key right there. And Social say international break, we can't expect a fluid team. Yeah, and that's kind of why we ain't sharp. A lot of tired legs there in that game, bro. A lot of tired legs in that game. But yeah, listen, let's talk about the player ratings now. David Raya, I gave him a 7. I'm not going to put the things up on the board because I didn't even type it up. Yeah. Hate me later for that, but I didn't even type it up. He's kept 5 clean sheets in the 8 games this season. Safe percentage members is 90%, so he's the highest safe percentage in the Premier League. The second goalkeeper to him is Martinez at about 72%. So he's the best save percentage by 18%. That's a huge, massive gap. So you can't get through to Raya. I think with him now, he did have to make the save actually when Josh King tried to trip him. Remember, he tried to chip him. It was kind of a cross, but he tapped it over. I don't know why they didn't count that as a shot on target. It's a weird one. Yuri and Timber, I gave him a 7 as well. The pass to Trossard, who squared Calafiori to shoot, was elite. There was a goal out of that, but it was offside. And it just goes to show his levels as a two-way player. Best right back in the league right now. Defending, attacking. He was overlapping with Saka, which is kind of making defenders choose where they pick. Is it Socials or Andrew that said that? Andrew, in terms of Saka no longer double teamed. So what happens with that? Gyökeres is pulling the extra man his way, opening up space. Timber's coming behind on the overlap. So whoever tries to double commit to Saka has to follow Timber, which again frees up Saka. So Saka's getting freed up all kind of crazy ways. And we were 49% in centric attacking right yesterday. We didn't get a lot left. But that just goes to show the levels of options that we have when we're attacking on the right-hand side. So strong, such a great performance in terms of the attacking with our dimensional play in terms of the combinations we're running is giving Saka that space. And when Madueke comes back, it's going to be even better because now you're going to have to shift towards a man that can actually beat your player every man. He will beat your defender every time. Saka, not all the time. Although Saka was rinsing yesterday, though. Saka was on the rinse. Saka was beating man. He doesn't normally do it at that level, which is why he's been highly applauded. But as I said in the heading for this podcast, Saka was a cheat code. He filled up the stat sheet everywhere. Dribbles, recoveries, possessions, touches in the box, chances created, 6. The man's just filling up the stat sheet. So, listen, man, let's go to William Saliba. 7 for him. Did you see his angles he took every time the board came through? Always on the right angle. You got to know where the striker's strong foot is. You know, if he's on the left foot, then you've got to guard that side to make sure he doesn't cut in on you. And on the right, vice versa. And so dominant play. And it doesn't give the strikers a hope because you've got nowhere to go. If a guy is front stepping you on your strong side, then you're going to have to depend on your weak. And not everybody's two-footed in the league. So it's really good play by Saliba. These are most of the things that doesn't show up on the stat sheet and people don't really talk about. So really dominant position, great angles. Gabriel, not so good. In the first half, he gave away 2 or 3 passes in dangerous key areas, which you just don't do. Luckily, we didn't get punished for it, but that cannot be allowed to happen, guys. It cannot. And that was an off day for Gabriel. The fatigue really starting to show there in terms of the tiredness. But again, not giving up a single shot on goal. Everybody's got to be counted for that. And he still assisted for the Trossard goal with a smart back header, good awareness there. And that's why he doesn't, with the player ratings at 6.5, Gabriel doesn't actually fall off a cliff. Ricardo Calafiori, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought he was our best out of the back four. The threat going forward, a cracking shot, which was a goal and ruled out for offside. Great volley that was. He scored a goal like that against Man City last season as well when he hit it first time in the same spot as well. But he's played as well. The thing with Calafiori is he played 90 minutes with Italy twice in the week and then come back and do a 90 minutes there and look like he could run all day. You know, when you saw other players like Zumbamedi really get tired and slow off, and Timber as well, this guy, Energizer Bunny, he just won't stop running. Even, you know, his teammates started to look gassed around 78 minutes, but he was still up for it. Martin Zumbamedi, I'm going to give a 6. I thought he dug in, he worked hard, but I thought he also didn't do a lot to influence the game. I thought his passing was subpar. But I said before the game he needed a rest. In my pre-match notes, when I did my preview on the forum, you could see I said, this guy, this is a game he shouldn't have been starting. I would have started Norgard in this game. I would have, because you know against Atletico tomorrow, Zumbamedi has to play. So I just think he's really tired. And regardless of him going on, we want players at the optimal level. And the only way to do that is to give them the correct amount of minutes game in, game out. At the moment, he's been overly played. And so is Declan Rice. Declan Rice played again for England. So I think he needs a rest. But you've got to play him against Atletico. I gave him a 6. Declan Rice, I gave a 7. Played more advanced in this game. In front of Zubimendi, but he looked like the Rice of old because of it. Because he was more advanced, he looked like the Rice of old. And I think for me, in my opinion, it's the best passing I've seen from him since he's been an Arsenal player. Some of the passes, weighted passes around defenders, through balls, 60-yard passes, Declan was hitting everything on the money. Andrew says, Calafiori, what a precise shooter of the ball. Yeah, he's got it, man. And Solskjaer saying, Gabby was... all right, and top flights to Japan. He was strong in aerials, shut down Jimenez. Yeah, fair enough. Spent his time trying to fight a cornerback is pointless. Yeah, I agree. But as for Declan Rice, range, vision, really put Fulham's defenders under pressure. Maybe he was watching some Thomas Partey videos. I don't know. but Declan Rice looks so good. And then after the Trossard goal, did you see Declan run into all the players and saying, you know, get your head in the game. Yeah, we're 1-0 up. We don't ease up. Yeah, let's not let up. So, you know, he's given that consistency. Eze, guys, I'm going to give Eze a 5. He only lasted an hour. And he was probably withdrawal to protect his legs for Atletico as well. He looked sluggish, he looked tired, and he was just off the pace of the game. We just didn't see the Eze that we were been accustomed to seeing. It wasn't a good game from him. I talked about Bukayo Saka. It looked like he would make something happen every time he caught the ball. I'm going to give him an 8. He's my man of the match. He put a shift in, guys. Just the way that he's gliding past players, hitting balls, taking balls on. He needs to do that more often. He's got the ability to do it. You know, we talk about Madueke has got people on ice all the time. But I don't know. I think Saka doesn't have the quickest first step, and that doesn't help. But if you dummy a defender and go the other way, then you've already got him. Does that make sense? You put a double move on him, and that creates space. And we saw him do that twice yesterday. Solskjaer is saying no one was influencing that game. The game was ruined by Fulham. These teams play 5 or 6 at the back, waiting to go 1-0 down to start playing. Yeah, and you know what? That affects Gyökeres in a really bad way. We'll come to Gyökeres in a minute anyway. But yeah, I agree with that. It's negative football. I do agree. But the difference between last season and this season is we've got the ability to break that down. Socials. So I gave Saka an 8. I'm giving Trossard a 7. Good game from him as well. 57 touches, 36 passes, 5 crosses, 4 duels won. His first Premier League goal of the season. He's got 29 goals for Arsenal now in the time he's been here. And, you know, I like Trossard. I've always said that. I've always preferred him between him and Martinelli because he's intelligence. He knows what to do with the ball. He knows the runs to make. He's smart, got good vision. And you need that. That's what Martinelli doesn't have. So I fully expect Martinelli to start tomorrow again against Atletico. I think it's the right thing to do. There's a couple of players. Ben White, I think you start him. Maybe Mars Lewis-Skelly. Starts as well. It's a tough game tomorrow, man. So you don't want to make too much changes, but those are the 3 changes that I would make. And Victor Gyökeres, I'm going to give him a 6.5. 2 really good shots, saved by Bernd Leno. Both of the shots, though, were mid-left. I would have gone for a different placement if I was him, and I probably would have hit it lower because Leno doesn't do well going for low shots. He gets down very slowly, hitting the floor. But there's a lot of pressure. I need to talk about Gyökeres because there's a lot of pressure at the moment on him. Socials just hit the nail on the head in regards to Gyökeres. And I think it's a problem when teams play a low block. If you look at what happened at Sporting Lisbon yesterday, a lot of those long balls coming over was counter-attacks, leaving him in one-on-one situations where he was really good. He doesn't have those situations now. And his strength is making his runs, getting beyond the back line. Hard to do when the defenders are pinned back on their back feet. So he's not finding a lot of space. And unfortunately, that's going to be a problem, guys. Andrew says, away games against low block, important not to concede the first goal. Arteta's tactics is the same as Guardiola, maintain possession of the ball, yeah, to reduce counterattacks. And that's the thing, isn't it? That's probably what's changed with Arsenal this season, is that we've got more patience. Last season, it was hell for leather. The season before that, hell for leather. You just throw in everything at the kitchen sink and seeing what sticks. Remember when we played Aston Villa at home, and after 70 minutes, we ran our socks. We did too much. And then we just got tired. As Villa came, they beat us 2-0. It was like the hare and the tortoise. And things like that is what we don't do anymore. We're more calmer. We let the game come to us, which is, again, you pointed out, a lot like what Man City does. And so for Gyökeres, he's still a danger up front, guys, and he's still adapting to the league. But what I like about him is he never gives up on any ball played into the box, whether it's high or low. He'll run down a dead cause. He presses non-stop. And that's the minimum expectations if you want to play for Mikel Arteta. And I think Arteta's come out in the press and said that. He said, look, I want a striker that when they go through a goal drought, I don't want to see their attitude change. Yeah? You see a lot of what's going on in Liverpool where man don't want to run back and help defending, and I'm not talking about any names, but Slot is having to deal with some lazy feet in that team because they're not working hard. They're not working hard enough. And so I'm going to give Arteta an 8. As you guys pointed out, first game back from the international break can always be a problem. There was a distinct lack of intensity in this game. The passing was painfully slow. We gave away the ball 5 times. And it was tough, man. But there was a half-time. He got their heads in, got them together, made some adjustments. Every single one of our passes was on point in the second half, made a huge difference. And we earned the win. Yeah. We earned that win. Another clean sheet. And remember, when they had the VAR for 5 minutes with the penalty, he called the players over and was coaching them, giving them instructions. And that's what you like his head's on. And we haven't seen that a lot this season because he trusts his players now. I only need to tell you what to do in pre-game, in the locker room. When you go out on the pitch, I trust you to do what I've told you to do. That's the level that Arteta has with his players now. And we're seeing a different type of Arsenal, great mentality. And so that's kind of where we are. And overall on the win, guys, Social saying Haaland is getting loads of shot on and goal, but that's because the teammates are not scoring. Interesting pop. Yeah. Big up to you, Daniel, as well. Big up to you, Daniel. And overall, guys, look, like I said at the beginning of the stream, we are not at our best yet. Players are injured. We're assimilating with out-of-form players, strikers as well. And you're still 3 points clear. Like, you're not even at your best yet. And you've got all these players waiting to come back from injuries. And you're not at your best, and you're still 3 points clear. And we're turning those draws and losses into 3 points. So things look really good, guys. Things look incredibly good. And going for Chelsea's record of 15 goals late in the season, let's do it, man. Let's chase it down. But it's just the sheer attitude of the players, the manager. I'm loving it right now. And look, Atletico up next. Not going to be an easy game tomorrow. I'm going to try and get a stream on. I need to know if the guys are going to be around and available because I'm going to be at the stadium. And then we go to high-flying Crystal Palace, which actually not that high because they ain't won in a couple of games, have they? They were 2-0 down the other day and then came back into the game. And so away from home at the Emirates, I'm looking at Arsenal for that. And that's going to be live on Sky Sports on Sunday this week. But I really feel good about us at the moment, guys. The defense is rock solid. It's resilient. The manager's making good adjustments. He's rotating players. I do think there's a couple of tired legs. As I said, I think Calafiori, Declan Rice and Zubimendi need to be rested. Tomorrow, you can. I'm not sure about Declan Rice. I would rather rest Mbemeni tomorrow, and then I'd put in Moreno. So I'd have Rice at the 6. I'd have Moreno in Rice's position, and that's how I would work. I'd play Miles Lewis Skelly and give Calafiori a rest. Probably play Ben White, depending on the threat at hand. But you know, Benny Blanco. Every time I've seen Benny Blanco play, he don't look fit. He don't look 100%. But same way, Timber needs to be rested. You can't keep on burning these players out. So there's a couple. I'd make 3 or 4 changes tomorrow night against Atletico. Socials are saying very Newcastle-esque game tomorrow. Yeah. And it's going to be a defensive battle because both teams are really good at defense. Arsenal being the best in Europe. But Atletico don't mess around, you know. They put 5 goals past Real Madrid. They don't mess around. They come to play. So I'm looking forward for an excellent game tomorrow. But from me, guys, listen, that's it from me tonight. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate all of the questions, all of the support. Big up to all of you lot, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Nice one, guys. Peace out, everybody.